This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Thursday, the new Friday, January 12th, and today's pod is the best one yet. It's a T-boy.
Am I seeing these numbers right, Nick?
I think you're seeing those numbers right.
Stocks are up so far in 2023.
2023, you're looking good on you.
Stocks rose yesterday for their fourth day in a row.
Toss that on your tortelloni, Jack. What is our first story for today's pod?
Apple is reportedly launching a wild new product this spring, the biggest since the iPhone.
It's a freaky reality headset.
We hope it's not ugly.
It better not be ugly.
For our second story, Sephora is 2 years into its Addison Rae influencer makeup partnership. How's it going?
It's going... yeah.
About that. And our third and final story is Goldman Sachs. They just announced their biggest layoffs in years.
DJ D Soul just canceled free coffee.
But Yetis, before we hit that fantastic mix.
I love this mix for the new Friday.
Earlier this week, we knew where you were.
Yeah, we knew that 2 out of 3 Yetis were listening to our pod on the toilet.
But there's one other place you could be.
There is one other place you could be right now. You could be listening to this pod in traffic.
And if you are sitting in traffic right now, you're probably in one particular city.
Yeah, because if you are in traffic, you are probably in Chicago.
Get this, Yetis. The worst traffic in the U.S. this year, it's Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Chicago goes deep on pizza. It goes deeper on traffic.
The worst traffic in the U.S. is not Midtown Manhattan. It's not the 405 down in Los Angeles.
No. The worst traffic in the United States is on Lakeshore Drive, man.
The average Chicagoan lost 155 hours stuck in traffic last year.
Yeah, we repeat, 155 hours of their Chicagoan lives lost in the left lane.
What's that, 8 days? I think that's 8 days.
In Chicago years, that is 8 years.
And those 155 hours of lost life in traffic is up 7% from before the pandemic.
This was the worst year for Chicago traffic since the Bulls were good.
Let's say you're trying to get a slice of pizza at Uno's.
But you've been stuck in the car for Dose.
You're trying to get a hot dog at Wiener Circle.
But you've been stuck in traffic forever.
You're trying to watch the Bears.
But Mike Ditka is still on that turnpike.
Hey, Chicago, have you forgotten your superpower?
Hey, Chicago, don't you do logistics?
Chicago does logistics.
Jack, if anyone can clear out traffic at the I-90 interchange, it's Chicago.
If anyone can bypass the buildup around the disabled bridge, it's Chicago.
If anyone can give Chicagoans 155 hours of their lives back, who is it, Jack?
It's Chicago. You got this, Chicago.
Let's hit our 3 stories. Oh my God, can you move? Keep it moving,
Get out of
people.
the way.
Keep it moving, people.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in a dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at-list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, this spring, Apple is reportedly launching their biggest product since the iPhone. What is it, Jack?
Reality headsets.
We're talking eye headset? That doesn't totally work.
Yeah, eye headset. But Apple's biggest risk isn't function, it's fashion.
Yetis, first of all, Jack and I got to tell you, we do a pod. We're just talking. We're just chatting here. We're just speaking words. But you know what? Words matter.
Have you noticed lately that Apple only does product updates? They don't do product launches?
Oh, 2 very different nouns. The last meaningful new products that they launched at Apple were watches and AirPods.
That was back in 2015 and 2016.
Oh, Jack, we got another update. It's version 9.636.
Watch number 9, MacBook number 72.
Honestly, I don't even know what iPhone I have. I just know that it's a number.
All I know is mine is too big for my hand now.
At some point, you just go to Roman numerals.
Well, this year, Apple is expected to finally launch a truly new hardware device.
And that device is not a car. It is still not a car. That is disappointing. It's so disappointing. When are we just going to get this?
According to people familiar with the matter, Apple's focus this year is completely on headsets that combine virtual reality with augmented reality, and they're calling it the Reality Pro.
Yeah, they're still workshopping the name a bit, but according to Bloomberg, this reality headset is launching this spring, and it's going to cost you $3,000.
$3,000 for facial hardware.
This isn't an AirPod. This
There's a head pod.
Now, Yetis, whenever Apple launches a product, we know what you're thinking. What is this eye product gonna look like?
It doesn't launch for a few more months, but there have been massive leaks and reports about what it's going to look like.
And we think we know what it's going to look like. It's going to look like ski goggles mated with AirPods and had a tech baby.
Take out an iPhone from your pocket.
All right, got it right now.
Hold it up to your face over your eyes.
Like this, Jack.
Get a roll of duct tape and then tape the iPhone on your head over your eyes. That's what this product is basically going to be.
It was like R2-D2 took some Oakley glasses and just stuck them on his face.
Apple's new headset will cover your eyes with a two-sided video screen, and it will read and detect what's under the goggles, your face, with a bunch of cameras.
Okay, so what Jack and I are saying is that you could play Call of Duty, you could stream Emily in Paris, you could Zoom with Carol from accounting, all with this new product, hands-free. But this is Apple we are talking about, besties. This is Apple. So that means there's always one more thing.
The screen that you see when you're wearing the goggles, it can switch to show you what's on the outside of the goggles.
Okay, so you can go from like 100% looking at virtual reality to 100% looking at real reality.
Let's say you're sitting by the gate waiting to board your airplane.
Classic.
You got some time, so you put your goggles over your face and you watch a movie all by yourself.
Hey, you're watching Emily in Paris. You are 100% virtual reality, 0% real reality.
Your phone buzzes you that the airplane is boarding.
You got it bored.
So you turn a knob and switch to 50% transparent mode.
Okay, so you keep watching Emily in Paris. You are 50% virtual reality, but now 50% of your goggles are real reality.
Half of the screen is just showing you what's outside of you, so you don't bump into people.
So you're not knocking into anyone.
So you're watching Emily in Paris, you're almost at your seat, but then boom, in seat 14B right next to you is your buddy from high school, Timmy.
So you flick that switch one more time, and now you are 100% real reality, like a pair of glasses. You are seeing their face. No more movie.
You engage with your buddy, Timmy. You ask how the family's doing.
Oh, Jack, there is that one catch you and I should point out.
Timmy may spit out his drink at you because he's freaking out right now.
He's going to sit down, stand up, sit back down again because he's not seeing your actual eyes.
You're still wearing the goggles. He can see your eyes, but he sees video of your eyes, which is on the outside of the goggles.
Yeah, the screen on the outside shows video of your eyes from the inside.
Jack, you look weird.
Yeah, it's going to be strange. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Apple?
Apple's biggest risk isn't function, it's fashion.
Yetis, remember the ugly rule? Like we spoke about it with Dyson. It's the fundamental rule of product design, the ugly rule.
You can make a product ugly, but that product can't make the user ugly.
Well, Apple has another thing. Apple has the beauty rule.
Apple turns tech products into fashion accessories.
But these early reports on the headset, they sound like the product is ugly and it makes you ugly.
This may not look that different than Zuck's metaverse goggles, which definitely make you ugly.
Besties, this new Apple product might even have a cable that's attached to your belt that holds a bulky battery. That sounds ugly.
Hansel. Not hot right now.
And honestly, that would be a disaster. And why would that be a disaster, Jack?
Apple's reputation depends on its products being beautifully designed.
Yeah, because for Apple, the biggest risk isn't function, it's fashion. For our second story, 2 years ago, Sephora launched a makeup brand with the world's biggest TikTok influencer.
It's not going well.
No, it's not. We got the number.
Because TikTok doesn't define relationships.
No, it does not. But first of all, Jack, the only store on Union Street right now in San Francisco with a bouncer and a line, you know what this is?
Which one?
It's Sephora. You can't get in. It's the hottest club in town.
Sephora, the chain of cosmetics and skincare stores owned by publicly traded French luxury powerhouse LVMH.
Or is it pronounced LVMH?
I never took French in high school.
Yetis, even if you don't shop for makeup at Sephora, you have seen their black and white striped bags. It's a vibe.
And Sephora hatched the idea 2 years ago during the pandemic. Let's launch a new cosmetics brand with the world's biggest influencer.
Yeah, that was their idea. So they decided to partner with Addison Rae, the legendary Addison Rae.
She's 22 years old. She has 40 million followers on Instagram.
Okay, you're impressed with that? Get this. She has 90 million followers on TikTok.
We're talking the Kardashian of dancing.
It's Addison Rae.
And the new business model they hatched together?
Yes, Jack?
Sephora does the production and the logistics.
All right, you do that.
Addison is the marketing department.
Addison, you just do the marketing.
What they created together is Item Beauty, a skincare line.
It was a new brand called Item Beauty, and it was celebrated as Sephora's first Gen Z, first ever influencer makeup brand.
Well, checking my watch.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
It was, Jack.
They had the biggest TikToker on earth.
Yes, they did, Jack.
How is the first ever influencer makeup deal going?
It's a great question, Jack, and you and I don't have the numbers, do we?
No, we don't. They haven't reported the numbers.
But Yetis, here's what Jack and I do when we don't have the numbers. We have said before that price is a signal.
Yes, we have. So we checked Sephora's website, and those retail prices, they're quite a signal.
They are quite a signal. What kind of numbers we talking, Jack?
Addison Rae's lash lengthening mascara on Sephora.com.
I'm checking right now. It is 50% off.
How about the blush and blush?
All right, checking that. That is 60% off.
And the full coverage concealer.
Oh, Jack, this one's a deal. This one is 70% off. It is really on sale.
All 15 products from Item Beauty on Sephora.com are at least half off.
Okay, and Jack, what about the marketing department for this new Item Beauty brand, which is Addison Rae?
We checked Addison's Instagram. She hasn't posted about this in 4 months.
What about the branded account?
Item Beauty's Instagram has lost followers over the past year.
They're down from 355,000 followers to 330,000.
We don't have the numbers,
No.
but the numbers don't look good.
And it's not just Addison Rae and Item Beauty.
According to Business Insider, they put together the top 25 influencer TikTok makeup brands.
Yes, Jack?
Most of them have gone bust.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Sephora?
TikTok drives massive discovery, but miserable loyalty.
Yetis, according to PFWTMs at Sephora, people just didn't connect with Addison Rae's new makeup brand.
The world's largest and most powerful influencer could not convert you to buy her mascara.
And that reveals the Achilles heel of TikTok. It drives huge short-term discovery, but not long-term engagement.
TikTok powers awareness, but not loyalty.
Besties, every marketer out there right now is pitching you on the value of building a brand on TikTok.
But TikTok's algorithm prioritizes freshness, newness, and what have you done for me lately?
TikTok's algorithm is fleeting. It is harder to build strong long-term relationships with a big audience.
That's the dirty secret of TikTok marketing.
Massive discovery, miserable loyalty.
Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
You know, honestly, your salad, it says so much about you.
Nick, you like to blaze your own trail at the salad bar.
Yeah, I'm ordering a salad. I go off menu, man. Like a combo of kale and croutons that has never been made before.
Me? I'm not reinventing the wheel. I like to go classic.
Like if Sweet Green thinks it's a good combo, Jack's not going to change that.
Kind of like investing strategies. Some want to build a custom portfolio of stocks, crypto, and options.
Others don't want to reinvent. Just give me the most standard ETF.
Whether you're tweaking your one-of-a-kind portfolio every day or prefer a more hands-off approach, Robinhood has the tools.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy to choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Stocks offered by Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto.
All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood.
For our third and final story, Goldman Sachs just announced its biggest layoffs in years.
And that is why your investment banking buddy gets paid so much.
Yetis, the way Jack and I see it, layoffs are kind of like the flu. They are highly contagious.
If one industry gets sick, so does another.
Yeah, so for example, in the past year, first, big tech got infected, and now banks caught a whiff of that cough. Now they're infected.
First, there were fewer tech IPOs, but that meant that fewer bankers were doing IPOs.
Ipso facto, not good for the banks. And this week, what are we getting, Jack?
All the banks are announcing their earnings.
We're getting all the earnings from the big banks.
And all the big banks made way fewer investment banking fees this year than they did last
Which
year.
leads to the news.
Goldman Sachs is cutting costs like it's Bob's Memorial Day mattress sale.
They're just slashing costs out there. For example, Jack, what is going on with those 2 brand new private jets over at Goldman Sachs?
They're under review. You might see them on Craigslist one of these days.
Yeah, expect fewer rides to Palm Beach on that G6, Davey.
How about the annual bonuses at Goldman Sachs?
The annual bonuses at Goldman Sachs. Jack, you're going to want to cancel that ski trip to Mont Blanc.
Analysts expect 40% bonus cuts across the board at Goldman.
In fact, every single expense at Goldman Sachs is under review right now.
They even canceled the free coffee perk.
No more free coffee like the double-digit lattes.
Enjoy that Keurig 1-cup Chuck, Goldman.
1 a.m. Westville orders to 200 West Street? Not happening.
Someone passed a Series 7.
But Yetis, that is all bad, but this honestly is the worst part of it.
Goldman Sachs just laid off 3,200 people, nearly 10% of the global workforce.
It is one of the largest cuts Goldman Sachs has done since the 2008 financial crisis.
Honestly, Yetis, that last one, the layoffs, wasn't a surprise to us.
Layoffs like this are always sad, but Jack and I should sprinkle on a little more context.
Because firing people in January, it's actually a Wall Street annual tradition.
Yeah, like for every bonus, a layoff. Wall Street kind of works that way.
Wall Street's pretty cutthroat. Historically, every bank cuts the lowest performing staff once per year.
Like there is literally an annual routine of just laying people off. It's part of the business.
In fact, Wall Street has some of the highest employee churn of any industry out there.
Yeah, according to the New York Times, 10% of Wall Streeters quit or are fired each and every year.
That is higher attrition than healthcare, telecom. It's twice as much employee churn as the airlines.
And get this, Yetis, within this high turnover industry of finance, Goldman Sachs has the highest turnover in all of finance.
15% of gold men and gold women aren't there at the company next year.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Goldman Sachs?
This is why Wall Street gets big checks.
Yetis, this is why your banker bud Brad got paid $100,000 after college for an entry-level job. Oh, and got a $200,000 bonus and a signing bonus.
It's not just because Brad's working until 2 a.m. every Saturday.
Oh, which kind of sucks.
It's the risk and reward of the layoffs.
Yeah. For example, 2021 was one of the best years in Wall Street history. Everyone, record high bonuses. There we go.
But just 1 year later was one of the worst years in Wall Street history. So huge layoffs and firings are happening.
Honestly, besties, a finance job sounds stable, but it's not at all. Like Jack and I worked at banks in 2011 after the financial crisis. We saw this like up front.
Today is your last day. Here's a box, collect your things, security will escort you to the door.
We saw a lot of people let go.
It's a risk-reward industry. Boom bust like the oil Wild West.
And that is the reason for the high pay on Wall Street. Jack, can you and that lovely maroon sweater whip up the takeaways for us over there?
Crimson.
I rounded up.
Apple is reportedly launching a virtual reality headset this spring.
The biggest risk isn't its function, it's its fashion.
For our second story, Sephora is bummed about the results of their Addison Rae makeup line.
Because TikTok drives massive discovery, but miserable loyalty.
And our third and final story is Goldman Sachs. The investment bank just laid off over 3,000 people.
And this is why Wall Street gets the big checks.
It's high reward for the high risk of layoffs.
Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by legendary Yeti Tomas Baggio from the North Shore of Oahu, Hawaii.
We may be getting one of the rarest and biggest surf competitions in the world this weekend.
Like, honestly, one of the rarest sports competitions ever this weekend.
It's called the Eddy. It's a surf contest held in Oahu, Hawaii in Waimea Bay.
It's named after Eddie Aikau, one of the first lifeguards ever to work in Hawaii.
And Eddie was pretty brave because between December and February, the waves in Oahu can get 60 feet tall. If the waves sustain 25 feet tall for 8 straight hours, only then do they host the Eddy Surf Tournament that year.
It is a rare occurrence that this happens, but if it happens, then we get the tournament.
The tournament's only been held 9 times in the past 40 years.
That's how rare this is. So we're hoping we get to see the 10th Eddy this weekend.
We hope the waves are big this weekend.
Yetis, you look fantastic for the new Friday. And remember, if you're in Chicago and you're stuck in traffic, we know what you should do. What is that, Jack?
Logistics.
Yeah, actually, if you could scroll down and give us a 5-star rating on the pod while you're sitting in traffic, we'll take that too.
Yetis, Nick and I will see you tomorrow.
Da Bears, da Bulls, da best one yet. And before we go, happy 69th birthday to Yeti Joe Van Houten in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
And happy birthday to Anna and Nina Yang, twins from Australia living in Iceland.
And Eric Rogney is turning 29 down the street in San Francisco.
This man hasn't missed an episode of the pod since 2020.
And Jack, what is going on with Professor Hornish's class?
First day of class for Digital Marketing 265 at Rhodes College down in beautiful Tennessee.
The Fighting Lynxes, go Lynxes.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins.
This is Jack. Nick and I both own stock of Apple and Robinhood. Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
Okay, so Jack and I both worked in finance for a while.
And we know the 6-monitor Bloomberg jockey with charts, numbers, balances, and more charts.
They got coffees in both hands while they're executing some complex trade on a soybean future.
Well, we're not trying to impress with our mission control trading center. Just give us an app, please.
Robinhood, with its mobile-first and intuitive design, it lets you trade with just a few quick taps on their app.
And even if things still don't seem easy, Robinhood has your back 24/7 with its live and robust customer support.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood. I never took French in high school.